We are coming up on the tail end of the NBA season, and it is crunch time in the East and the West. Let's talk about our East and Western Conference finalists. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Who you have?
You know what? I think that the Eastern Conference Finals the playoff period for the Eastern Conference will be so cute. It's going to be super fun to watch, and we're going to just get all of our feels from it. I really believe that. However, the two teams that will end up in the Eastern Conference will come from the number 1, 2, and 3 spots. Let's just be honest about it. We'll go through round one and we'll go through round two, and it'll just be a really, really great matchup. But at the end of the day, we'll be looking at the Eastern Conference and championship game, and we'll be saying, "Oh, two of the top three teams actually ended up here anyway." So who I actually have Boston and the Sixers. I have them because
Mm.
I think that this will be the season that the Sixers finally crack the code, really off the strength of Joel Embiid and his maturity, his dominance. And I think that James Harden will finally show us what it looks like, what he can produce in a deep playoff run. I really believe that will be that pairing. And I feel it. I don't know why. It's more about the eye test than it is about anything else, right? And I think that this will be the season that happens for them. Boston, clearly, their depth is going to get them through, right? I do believe that Jalen and Jason Tatum will still be able to show up and do the things that they do because hopefully Jason Tatum will not um, fizzle out as the playoffs continue to progress. He doesn't disappear sometimes as he can do on the floor, and that he finds if his shot is not hitting, that he really taps into the other areas of where he can have a positive impact on the game. And I think that's going to be the driving force. But I also believe that their depth is enough that's going to help carry them through to the Eastern Conference Finals. And that's why I have Boston and Boston actually have a great road game success where they are actually, I believe they're top of the conference when we're talking about winning on the road. So when you're thinking about the playoffs, especially rounds 1 and 2, some of them games are going to be played in another arena. And to know that you have a team like Boston that can still get wins out of road games, I think that's another feature factor of why I selected the Boston Celtics being in the Eastern Conference Finals along with the 76ers. Who do you have?
Wow. Okay, now James Harden really believes that this is his best opportunity to win a championship. Looks like you're on board with that.
Yeah, I am. I am. Because sometimes because I haven't really been on board with James Harden because I have watched him over his career just can't seem to crack the code, with all his great skills and the shooting ability and all of that. Something about this time with Joel Embiid just sets him apart in his maturity, in his direction, and I think it's going to be really good for them. Yeah.
Okay, okay. When I look at the Eastern Conference standings, it's kind of hard for me to overlook the Milwaukee Bucks, right? The Boston Celtics, they do have a problem finishing games. And you kind of mentioned that too. But I think, as you mentioned, their depth will get them through.
Mm-hmm.
But the Philadelphia 76ers, my main concern, and as I'm analyzing the Eastern Conference, my main concern is the history that I've seen with James Harden. Will he give up? Will he throw a tantrum on the court? I worry about that. And the Sixers' depth is not that deep if you
No,
think about it.
it's
Once
not.
you get past Joel Embiid and James Harden, and hopefully you get something from Maxey, I'm sure you will. But Tobias Harris is one of those guys where you don't know what you're going to get. The Cavs are a formidable contender as well. Huge size, their time together is a concern for me. I think Donovan Mitchell, sometime when it gets down to it, I think he shoots the ball too much. So that's a concern for me. When I look at the Knicks and the Nets, I think it's cute, right? The Knicks were on a winning streak and that ended quite quickly, right? The Nets, they're not going to go deep. I look at the Heat, they're not going to win. The Raptors, no. And the Wizards, I think neither one of them have a chance. So really, by default, I had to pick the Bucks and the Celtics to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I told you top three.
Yeah.
The playoffs for the Eastern Conference will be cute. We will have a good time. We will. No, I'm serious because the teams that you've mentioned, the ones that will be in the playoffs, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be nice. But at the end of the day, when we get down to the Eastern Conference Finals, we're gonna be looking at two of the top three teams anyway. That's
Yeah.
why I said that from the beginning, because the same things you mentioned. If I want to have someone upset me in the Eastern Conference, I would love to be upset by the Cavs making it all the way to the Eastern Conference. I would love to see
Mm,
the Cavs there. I would love it. But do I believe they'll do it? No, I really don't. I'm concerned about their depth for sure. Just like you have concerns about the Philadelphia 76ers depth, I have concerns about the Cleveland Cavaliers depth. And I think it's going to impact them as they go into the playoffs. I just think it is.
hmm.
And then, the Nets, wow, good for holding on. But that's it. That's it.
They're not gonna know.
No, 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 no. And it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to watch. The game will be competitive. And hopefully the Nets can, push a team to game 6. Maybe they can. It'd be cute, right? It'd be fun. I'm not saying that who's ever going to be playing up against them shouldn't give their all, but I just don't know if I don't see them coming out of round 1. That's just what I'll say. And then for the other teams, yeah, it's going to be a cute watch. We're going to have a great time. At the end of the day, for the Eastern Conference, we'll be waiting to see how the Bucks, how the Sixers, and how Boston comes out of that. That's it. That's the only reason why we're going to be watching the Eastern Conference matchups. I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
I have those two. Now, as far as who I have winning that game, I have Boston. I have Boston again going to the finals from the East. Something about them running it back seems more likely than not.
Okay, and I have the Milwaukee Bucks. It comes down to the Bucks and the
Mm-hmm.
Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. I got to go with the championship DNA. I got to go with Giannis and Chris Middleton on the court together. Chris Middleton would be all, back to his
Better
usual
be.
self by then. And then the depth on the Bucks bench. Just that toughness, right? Grown man strength too. I got to go with the Bucks coming out of the East.
Okay. It's going to be great to watch. Whoever comes out of the East will be from 1 through 3. Just let's be honest about that.
Yeah. Okay. Now for the Western Conference, I don't know if we can say that
No.
the finalists will be the top 3 seed in the Western
No.
Conference.
No, we can't
Mm-hmm.
say that. I can't even be confident. And the 2 teams that I believe, well, I have 2, maybe 2.5. I've struggled with, I know. Let me just tell you this. I'm struggling with identifying who will be in the Western Conference Finals.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to even hold you. I'm struggling with that. I have one team solid, but that second team, it could be any, meeny, miny, mo. Like for real, it could be any team. So because the standings are so tight, you may be looking at somebody that was number 13 all year to be in the Western Conference Finals. That's just it can be that way. So yeah, I don't know who you have. You go first.
Oh, okay, okay. Again, had to analyze the Western standings, right? The Denver Nuggets have been dominant all year, right? They have
Yes.
the magician
Yeah.
and Joker. They
Yeah.
got incredible depth.
Yeah.
Only thing is the Nuggets, I don't know if they know what it takes to win a championship. They haven't been to the finals since 1976.
Mm-hmm.
So that concerns me. When I look at the Kings, ooh, inspiring basketball, real fun to watch, inspired by Mike Brown, but I think they're too young. I think they're too young. It'll be a good Cinderella story, real good story, good for the media. And the Grizzlies right now, for me, without Steven Adams, without Brandon Clark coming off the bench,
That's a wrap.
an athletic big, and I don't know what's going on with Ja. And then for the Suns, if KD can't get back to himself without their depth right now, Golden State can't win on the road, right? The Wolves have no depth, and they have Rudy Gobert. Anthony Edwards is playing well. The Dallas Mavericks, right? Luka and his injury, how long is that going to hold him out? Is Kyrie dependable? Because Luka didn't play one game and Kyrie was like, oh yeah, I'm out too. I'm like, what is that? The Lakers, I worry about their health. What is it going to look like when LeBron comes back? Is LeBron coming back? Can AD stay healthy? What about these new pieces, right? The Pelicans, they're out. OKC, real young, entertaining group, but next year is their year. So again, I'm left with the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. I think the
There.
Nuggets and the Clippers will go to the Western Conference Finals, and it
Oh,
is going to be a watch. Let me tell you.
wow. Wow. I agree with you on some of your points, but I'm gonna have to tuck and roll off that Clippers man. I can't. They will not goop me another year. They got to prove it to me. Now, if
Mm,
they make it to the Western Conference Finals, I will be totally shocked. And I'm here for it. I hope they do it. But anyway, for me, I have the Nuggets as well. I just think that the Nuggets, to your point, have been dominant all year. And although they've never been to a championship, but any championship team, there was some point that they've never been to the championship. So I know that we want to use championship pedigree as a baseline for if they how successful they can be in the postseason, how successful they can be in winning another championship, which I'm quite sure the odds are always in their favor. But there was a point even in that team's championship run where they weren't, i.e., Toronto Raptors. So it is
Mm.
still possible that a team that does not have championship pedigree on their roster, that has never been to a championship, can be the one to win. So the Nuggets is why I think that because they have Joker, because Aaron Gordon is playing lights out this season, right? Michael Porter Jr., I hope he can continue to stay consistent. You got Jamal Murray. I still think that they can get it done and lead them to the Western Conference Finals. However, this other team that they will be competing against, I struggle with. I am struggling between the Suns and the Kings for the same reasons that we cannot overlook the fact that Mike Brown is leading the Sacramento Kings, led them to a number 2 spot in the Western Conference as we speak. Now, it may change because, the Western Conference is so fluid, but I can't dismiss that. And then the Suns, as the reason why I have the Suns as one of my teams that can be in the Western Conference Finals is because at the end of the day, when you plug in KD, the success of the Suns can be out the roof. He can play with anybody. But KD, although he only played 2 games with the Phoenix Suns as we speak right now, those 2 games are amazing because if they double team KD, Book waiting for him. They double team Book, what? KD waiting for him. Oh, and then that's okay if they say can't get their shot off. They got DeAndre Ayton. Like the possibilities are endless, right? Even though their depth took a hit when they traded for KD. So I'm torn. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm torn. Do I have to come up with somebody?
You do have to come
Oh
up with
shit! Okay,
something.
okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna go with the Nuggets and the Suns.
Okay.
Even though KD is not going to be playing for a set amount of games at the end of the season, because he is so easy to play with, and because you can plug him into any offense, I still think the Suns can get it done with KD on the court. So I'm going to go Nuggets and Suns, Western Conference Finals.
Okay. All right. I can. Hey, I mean, I don't know. I know the Nuggets will be one half of the Western Conference Finals. I think that's clear.
They will be one half for sure. I
But
just that oh, wow.
yeah.
Who you have
Okay.
coming out?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going with the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets will be going to the NBA
I
Finals.
think so too. I have the
Mhm.
Nuggets as well.
Mhm.
I think the Nuggets are going. I think they're going. I think the Nuggets are going to meet the Boston Celtics in the finals. And you say the Nuggets are going to meet the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
I think so. But what do you think about that matchup though? Do you think it'll get NBA ratings? The
Yes.
Denver Nuggets in the
Yes.
finals?
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. I do. Do they announce most valuable player before the NBA finals?
Oh man, I don't know.
Because if Nikola Jokic gets the third MVP,
Ooh.
people are going to be watching to see if he really is it. I'm telling you, because they already don't think he should get it. There's a subset of people out there who don't think he should win MVP for a third straight year, right?
Mm.
And one of the arguments that I've been hearing and reading about is the fact that he has not won any championships, although we know it's a regular season award. But people still hold that against him that he hasn't gone deep in the playoffs and he hasn't won a championship. So how can he continue to be top of the list for most valuable player? And since he has won 2 MVPs back to back, why isn't he top 10, top 5 on some people's lists? So I think that there is still some, it may not be as box office as a Lakers and whoever match up, a Clippers and whoever match up. because I don't even know if the Milwaukee Bucks will still bring it in, right? But I do believe that whoever is really into the game and who's really into that smaller market for the Nuggets particularly, I think it'll still be a great watch. Two
Okay.
bigs, Giannis. I don't know if Giannis is considered a big, but someone of Giannis's caliber, of course. And then Nikola Jokic. I'm watching
Yeah.
it, but I don't know about everybody else. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know now if it were the Sixers in the
Ooh,
Nuggets
oh, I'm telling.
and the NBA had not named the MVP. Now everyone's
Ooh,
looking at Joel Embiid and Jokic going at it.
now that's a good one.
Yeah, but I think they announced it prior to the NBA
I
Finals,
want to
but
say they
right after the
do.
playoffs begin, but before the
Yeah.
NBA Finals, I think.
Can you imagine?
Mm,
Oh my gosh. The Nuggets and the 76ers?
yeah, yeah,
Do you think the Boston Celtics and the Nuggets would bring in more viewers than the Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks?
yes, because Boston Celtics fan base and
Mm,
just they just have such a huge following.
yeah.
They'll be riding on the backs of that in the Nuggets community or the Nuggets fans. You know,
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
chip in too. But
So
yeah,
that means that people, let's watch what the refs do. Who
uh-huh.
will really
See,
be the champions of these of the conference finals, both East and West? Will it be the refs? Because that's gonna be the one, right? Right? I'm trying to put. I'm just thinking. I don't know if you've seen. If you look at some of the comments when like someone's team loses, and then you see in the comments somebody says, "Oh, I bought my jersey and it's the refs, it's
yes,
the refs
yes,
jersey."
yes,
I'm like,
yes.
yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, I can tell you who. I just don't know about the Clippers. Do you think the Clippers will actually pull it off against the Nuggets?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do
The
you think that?
Nuggets, yeah, I think the Clippers and Nuggets will make the Western Conference Finals. The only thing is the Nuggets have beat the Clippers 4 times this season. So I know the Clippers are not going to figure it out and turn it on against the
Mm,
Nuggets. Although the
wow.
Clippers are on track right now,
Mm,
playing really good basketball.
look at
So
that.
I could see them going through the Western Conference. But when they match up with the Nuggets, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Wow, another meltdown. Well, anyway.